It's a privilege to be here with you today to address your questions regarding unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UAP.
This was recorded while the U.S. Navy ship observed a number of small unmanned aerial systems in the area. And importantly, the video was taken through night vision goggles with a single lens reflex camera.
Besides, they are on to us. We need to distract their earthlings.
Do not worry, comrade. We have an operative embedded in the mainstream media.
Hello. You have reached the desk of Wolf Blitzer. Please leave your encrypted news tip at the tone.
Agent Mork Ork, emergency. The invasion plans are at risk. Your orders are to create a mass diversion ASAP. That is all.
Secretary Clinton had approved a plan to tie President Trump to Russia.
Yes.
Was that intelligence important enough for Director Brennan to go brief the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, the Attorney General of the United States, and the FBI?
I think people will start to see that this says more about Trump than it does the Department of Justice, and that is that...
Snoozer!
This is considered an aggressive visibility filter. You silenced members of Congress from communicating with their constituents.
That's so 2022.
U.S. and Canadian Coast Guard ships are at this hour rushing to the North Atlantic as two U.S. C-130 planes survey the vast ocean surface for any...
Perfect. Now that we have snared the Earthlings' attention, we may commence invasion.
Wait a minute. I want to see how this submarine shit plays out. Pass the nuts.
The search happening about 350 miles off the coast of Newfoundland in waters more than 2 miles deep. Tonight, the company that runs the deep sea charters, Ocean...
Live from downtown Detroit, it's No BS News Hour with my main man, Scarlett.
Na. No bullshit!
Let's just breaking this. No more bullshit. No more bullshit.
Yeah, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Hey, Karen, welcome back to town.
Hey, thank you.
Just sorry we're late. We got sabotaged. It wasn't Zuckerberg, but we're up. We're running. And where the fuck is Red?
I don't know.
You know where he's at. The dude's out there like tripping like he's on PCP on Facebook Live, yelling at other obscure comics. I'm like, you're supposed to be in here, motherfucker.
That's what I said. Where are you, Red?
You're fucking sabotaging this shit. Like, if you're gonna go berserk, Red, on other obscure comics, don't do it at the same time we're on. And he's still doing that old school shit from a month ago, doing Facebook.
But people
aging comedians.
People forget they call in sick, or they're not where they're supposed to be, and then they're on social media. They're not answering the phone or emails. Okay, we can see you, so there's a right way to do wrong, and that's not it.
Hey, the motherfucker look like he's on a submarine and is on his last breath. He's going crazy. Not to joke about that. I mean, we did that cold open with the hopes that somebody be found. We would try to make fun of that. That's pretty sad, but I mean, the news is in now, right?
That's true.
That thing imploded. What did you, just before we go on trying to figure out our sabotage, would the U.S. Navy know?
That the Wall Street Journal reported, I guess about 10 or 15 minutes ago, that top secret U.S. Navy, I guess they have a detection system, and they determined that it imploded a few days ago.
Yeah, so, that's probably a nuclear submarine lurking around down there. And you figure it's like top secret, and you're leaking it to the Wall Street Journal. Like, you could have leaked it to the, Canadian Navy a couple days ago instead of endangering.
Or something, or saying something. I mean, you've got a lot of people that, family members or just people in general, were concerned about, the livelihood or the outcome of that whole thing. So
I don't mean, like, I got to be honest. I don't mean to be, what are you doing, Mark?
Oh, nothing.
Join the show.
Pressing buttons.
Join the show.
You know me.
Yeah.
I like to press buttons.
Again, I mean, God bless the families. Sorry about these deaths, but this guy brought it on himself, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, we got seamen and women out there risking their lives, and you're not letting them know?
Yeah, but it's so much stuff now, Charlie, after they now have found them, all these post information that's coming out, and then you've got the stepson of one of the billionaires, and he's now in a beef with Cardi B.
He's doing booty calls.
Yeah, and he's asking a stripper to sit. I mean, it's like has everybody lost their mind?
Yeah, everything becomes a circus.
It has.
You know, this is weird though for me. For me, television, and I mean this, television is officially over because I'm of the age where all of these mad crises and like, you know, I was glued to the TV. OJ, I was in college at the time. I smoked bong rip after bong rip when the Challenger blew up.
Oh yeah,
like all day long. You know, you skip classes and just watch this. This is the first one, like 9/11. Another one.
Sure.
This is the first
one.
mass hypnosis that I never watched a frame of terrestrial TV. I never watched TV. It was all phone, all Twitter, still newspapers and stuff, but never turned it on.
Well, why would you need to? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the information doesn't change that quick, so you can just follow it online.
That's true.
Unless you want to watch a bunch of talking heads.
But also think about this too. There was really nothing to show on television.
You're right.
So you didn't have a visual with it other than what that thing looked like before it was submerged.
Like everybody gets to be a stage director and put it on Twitter, and then instead of like, who's the boring guy, Lester Holt from NBC, you get to listen to fucking assholes out there and their memes and like.
So there was nothing to see.
You know, they're making fun of this. It was pretty macabre.
I love how everybody became a submarine expert in about 2 days. Just knew everything about this piece of shit.
They were nautical engineers. I mean, everybody was.
I didn't get so much into that, but
I
then,
like it though. I don't know.
But then I kind of did because when I'm like, all right, look, I'm thinking. Here's what I know. You know, I know some people. We've got nuclear submarines, and these things are $3, $4, $5 billion, maybe more. $5 billion vessels, right?
Yeah,
and they're trolling the oceans like that, and they're not going that deep. And I look at this fucking thing, and it's made of carbon fiber.
Okay.
And here's what I do know about carbon fiber, being from Detroit. They make, car parts. It's very light. It's very strong. They make racing cars out of it. They make spaceships out of it because it's that strong. And I know this. It can withstand like G-force. It can withstand tension, being pulled on. And I'm like, all right, well, what happens when you go 20,000 leagues under the sea?
Different.
And then I Googled it, all right, and it cannot handle compression.
Yep.
And when you get that deep, that's basically like having the Empire State Building on your chest. That's how much pressure is there. And you're there in a carbon and titanium. So then I'm thinking, I also know it's about cars. When you screw metal into carbon fiber, it starts to galvanize. It starts to corrode. And then you put it in salt water, and it really corrodes.
Okay.
Now, I don't know. That's it. I'm done there. But all I know, Karen, is I'm looking at Twitter and YouTube, and I'm looking at this. Do we get a picture of this thing?
Yeah, here you go.
Okay, is this the last time it went in the water?
One of the last ones.
One of the last. Okay. This thing looks like a tired spermazoa. It looks like a spermazoa going upstream to spawn. Like, like the salmon with its.
It looks like something that a group of kids made in their backyard and said, "We're gonna make something and we're gonna go to space." I mean, that's what it looks like.
So I'm looking at this thing. I put it back up so I can look at this thing. All right. Now it's been down there a couple times, and it's carbon fiber. And I don't know how you screwed in those bobsled rudders on the bottom there, those runners.
Yep.
Like, what if that gets trapped in some shit down there? That's a stupid design.
But look at all the wires.
But look at all the wires. Okay, so I'm like a billionaire, and I got my son, and I'm like, Uber to the bottom of the ocean. Jesus. And I'm seeing fucking wires hanging off of this. I'm like,
none of that makes sense. And the cold open actually made more sense about this. I mean, like, why? Why is all this happening? None of this makes sense. If you are a millionaire or a billionaire, are you really going to risk?
Yeah.
I mean,
because you've done everything else you could do in life, I guess.
Yeah, but
the one guy went to space.
Yeah.
He went up in Blue Origin in Jeff Bezos's penis-shaped rocket. what else did he have to do? So he decided to go to the bottom of the ocean.
And not to go off topic because it's not, we're just freewheeling, but this space tourism shit, like somebody's going to turn into Major Tom here, and that thing's going to keep going, and there's going to be no way to get him back.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I mean,
I'd get on there tomorrow, though.
Would you really? Would you really, Mark?
Yeah, I need something to feel alive.
Pass him a beer.
See me after the show, sweetheart. Figure something out. Okay, so I don't know, man. I'd like to feel stuff too, right? Yeah. But there's like, look, do not get cocaine anymore. You know what I mean? Like that'll make you feel something, but it could have fentanyl.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't get an $8 steak.
No.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not good quality. Do not get
gas station sushi.
Do not get an $80
Yeah, right.
Do not get an $80 airplane ticket. Don't get an $800 boob job. I mean, some things you gotta pay
a little
for.
extra.
Charlie, let's take that down a notch. So don't.
Why you take me down a notch, man? I show up, it costs me $250,000, and the wires. I got a motorcycle, man, and when the chain's hanging low, you're like, you don't ride that fucker around. You get a new chain, you get it tight. Look at this shit.
Yeah. There was one guy too who was set up to do it, and he looked at it and then read about it and then read the waiver you have to sign. He's like, I'm good.
He said it had death in the
front page.
Yeah, for like the first guy, 3 times the first paragraph or something.
Yeah.
So in the waiver.
And then the guy that built this, what's his name? Is Stockton Rush?
Yeah.
He never bothered to have the thing analyzed and certified by the International Maritime whatever
Experts.
Deep Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's written down here, but y'all get the point.
It was game control.
Well, we dug up this from Stockton Rush. He gave an interview to, I believe, a Spanish outlet, right?
Yep.
And here's what he said about his spermazoa craft.
I've broken some rules to make this. I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me. The carbon fiber and titanium, there's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did.
So was he on there?
Yes, he was.
Oh.
He's now.
There's a rule you don't do that, and I did.
I was going to say otherwise he'd be liable for murder.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but like that was a lot. It's interesting. You think about life and the help people need, whether it be in this city, in this country, and the French sent assets.
Yeah.
The United States government, the Canadian government,
the UK.
That shows you what's good about people. Somebody's down, you do it, right?
5 people. You had nations searching.
But then I am reminded of like people that climb like Devil's Thumb in Alaska in the middle of winter, or Everest, or things you weren't supposed to do and you decided to do it anyway, and you endangered a lot of people.
Right.
So I don't know if it's crass. Again, I'm not inhumane. We're just talking. I'm thinking these things. I'm sure everybody is.
And other people are too.
So are they going to dissolve this company and defray some of these costs because just to do dumbass shit that you were told not to do?
That's true.
And it cost people their lives. And you think that 19-year-old really had any idea that
that didn't want
carbon
go.
Fiber doesn't do well?
And he didn't want to go.
He didn't?
No, his aunt said that he did not want to go.
Oh God!
So, but wasn't there a migrant ship that sank?
Yes.
I mean,
in Greece.
Yeah, and so
those dirty rat bastards. Like you wouldn't even haul them in. You're throwing bottles of, Avion over there. Like you'll make it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, the difference in
there's how many people are missing? 500.
Yeah. So if you're looking at from a humanitarian standpoint, at what point does it warrant? The same resources or interests. That's what I'm saying.
I think because this was like almost, you have the Ghost of the Titanic. This is H.G. Wells.
It makes
it's
a
like
good story.
Sci-fi. That you're adrift in the graveyard ocean. Oh my gosh!
So do they leave it there, Charlie, and not disturb the grave anymore? What happens at this point?
Well, here let me call the United States Navy.
No,
I'm calling the Navy.
I'm speculating. Like, what do you think should happen, Mark? Let me ask Mark.
We'll fix this in post. Right? Give me the captain. Yes, Captain Crunch. Yes. Listen, Captain. What's going to happen?
You said
what do you mean? Well, hold on. I'm with the captain here. What do you mean? Really? You actually heard this 3 days ago. Why did you tell anybody? Oh, R&R in Turks and Caicos. Oh.
Who paid for it?
All right. Who paid for your trip?
No, it didn't.
It's the Attorney General there. She was. On the catamaran, you say. Oh. All right, it's all classified. Thank you, Cap. Yeah.
I was just speculating, like, what would they do? Because, this whole thing, they were going down to look at the Titanic. And, I mean, there have been so many comparisons.
Pictures are good with me.
Okay.
Pictures are good. I like the pictures from Jupiter. I don't need to be on, Voyager 1. Just beam them back, Scotty.
I was just wondering.
You know what? Right.
No, leave them there for the next sub to look at.
You know what's interesting? Just thinking about the human desire to, we're here for a reason. Like the human desire to explore and to find new places. There's something deep in us where something expires here when you have to move on. So it's interesting that 23 astronauts, 23, have come from Ohio. Which begs the question, what's so horrible about Ohio that it causes people to flee Earth?
Get out of here.
Go Blue.
I like it.
Thank you.
You're not going to get any disagreement from me.
Don't encourage him, Mark.
No, I absolutely shall encourage him.
Okay, now in the meantime, during all of this, massive things are going on, right? Congressman Adam Schiff, the guy that was leading the Trump colluding with Putin, sleeping in bed with the man was censured on the floor of the House of Representatives, only the fourth time in the history of this country. Basically, it's an impeachment and a public whipping, right? He's getting his pants pulled down and he's getting a butt spanking, right? Yeah. And nobody knows anything about that. And then when you go on Twitter, it's much like people clowning the submarine or people applauding the spirit of it. But like the Democrats don't want to admit that this was a hoax perpetrated on the people and it helped destroy and diminish the country, the office, the institutions of Congress, of the presidency. You did it. And they're going, look at the Republicans wasted time. What about a woman's right to choose? And it's like, no, this is huge. And then on the other side, the Republicans are dopes. Like, the election was stolen. They're still doing that.
Still talking
right?
about that.
Or there's nothing to Trump's indictment, walking around with war plans and nuclear secrets. Like, all he had to do was give them back, right? Or now they want to impeach Biden for no good reason. We got to move along with impeachment. For what? You see what's happening?
It's about winning.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the people.
It's about making their issue a priority. So it's about let me one up you on something.
Yeah, but we do that all the time, and we'll do that some more. The public's got to wake the fuck up. What's wrong with people out there?
That's true.
You actually buying this shit? You're picking a side? Everybody's turned into a propagandist.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? And there's a great writer, a great clinician, psychiatrist, Wilhelm Reich, right? Came from Jung, and from Jung he came from the grandfather of it all.
Skinner?
No,
Freud?
And he wrote a book called Listen, Little Man, and in that he wrote, when you get down to it, there's no difference between a red fascist and a brown fascist. The Nationalist Front and the Bolsheviks. You know what I mean? And I notice people just want to pick a side and they're wrong and they start twisting stuff. And these are the big Twitter people. And I'm looking at it with amusement. You're an idiot. Yet you need your ass whooped. And when you've done destroying each other, you got to look back to the middle to get some sensibility back. Look what Europe did to itself in the 40s.
Amen. Yeah.
And then what? Can somebody that's got a reasonable mind please break it up? What was that about?
Reasonable is the operative word in that. That's the thing. Nothing's reasonable and no one is reasonable anymore. Everybody is self-righteous and critical of anything that doesn't reflect what they believe is right. And that becomes, the fodder that everybody feeds off of.
And these clowns up in Washington, when your surroundings shift going shame, shame, shame to the whether you agree with him or not, the Speaker of the House, it's not shame. This was a hoax perpetrated on us, and Trump is no hero of mine.
Right.
Right. And I see I know what January 6th was about, man. You know what I mean? But wow.
Yeah. But, you know, I think it's also, too, and I said this some shows ago, that I really believe that the Democrats believe that if, in fact, Trump were to run, that he would beat Biden. So I do think that there's a concerted effort to distract and prevent him from running under any circumstance.
Okay, but then we got to talk about the last 7 years, you know, I mean, like, and then this goes back to Nixon.
Yeah.
All right, you take Nixon out, then we're going to take Clinton out. Okay, you take Clinton out. All right, we're going to take Trump out. Okay, you're going to take Trump out. We're going to take somebody of yours out. And then what do we have left?
But Karen, isn't that what it's really?
A submarine at the bottom of the ocean.
Isn't that what it's really about anyway? Is these people are just trying to keep their job?
And they
just want to keep their job.
That's it. So
yeah, but we're falling for it.
No, I know.
No, we're not. I don't think.
Not us.
Not
us. No, this is a secret cave.
But people are. I think they know that people are looking for something to latch onto, something to identify with, something to be a part of. And so they feed them this, and they buy into it.
Yeah, man, you know, I'm just looking at it. Okay, and you know what? Thank God there's reasonable people. They happen to be our sponsors. And here's a word from our sponsors.
Which one?
Oh, fuck, Mark.
Just kidding.
Did you know that with Paul Financial's new Easy Start program, you can lock your mortgage rate 2% below the current market? If you were to purchase a $250,000 home with 5% down, instead of paying $1,600 per month, you only pay $1,300 per month, saving you almost $4,000 a year. See if Easy Start is a fit for you.
That's kind of a big deal.
Get started now at 866-CALL-HALL or go to callhallfirst.com.
If however you're listening to this, whether it's Twitter or YouTube or iTunes, rewind that. That's a big deal.
You mean this part?
$1 home with 5% down. Instead of paying $1,600 per month, you only pay $1,300 per month, saving you almost $4,000 a year. See if Easy Start is a fit for you. Get started now at 866-CALL-HALL or go to callhallfirst.com.
All right. Next.
Oh, you mean
American Coney Island. So good, even Al Roker from the Today Show.
Yeah,
eats
you
it.
fuck you
I like
fucking
that other guy, Al Joker, who eats at Lafayette. So make sure you're a roker and not a joker. American Coney Island.
And remember, you want American Coney Island coming right to your door. You're still a shut-in. Go to AmericanConeyIsland.com. Get the Cody kit. Dozen dogs, proprietary dogs, the chili, the steamer buns, the sweet onions, and the nice cap.
And they make excellent gifts.
AmericanConeyIsland.com.
Yes, they do, but they make excellent gifts.
Let's move along now, Karen. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm just saying I've sent some as gifts, and they make excellent gifts. All right.
Mark!
Wait, there's more?
The next one?
Make something up if it's not.
Oh, I don't know.
This message of Uplift is brought to you by business and personal wealth advisor Luke Nowacki, who reminds you that what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but never enter the kingdom of God? But while you're waiting, Nowacki wants you to remember that overreaction is not a sound financial strategy. So call Luke Nowacki at 248-663-4748 for sound financial advice.
I have to call Luke, because you know what I know? That package shipping has tanked. It's historically tanked.
Really?
Yeah, which is a harbinger of the economy. Yeah. And I got it on pretty good word that one of the major package deliverers is going to go on strike.
Oh, boy.
So what does this mean for the economy? What if this is information and it's half public? What does that mean?
That would be a big deal, Charlie.
Look, what do I do if I'm retiring or my kid is going to be a senior, just about ready to be getting to college? What do I do with my investment plan?
It's a good question.
I put some stuff in that Michigan education plan. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can move it. You know what I mean? I don't overreact. Right. That's Luke's number one thing. Don't overreact. But you can gently move yourself
So are there ways to do that with minimal tax implications?
with zero tax implications.
Okay, well, then that's what you need to know.
You can get yourself into a high growth fund,
Okay.
solid growth fund, get yourself into bonds, but that's for a guy like Luke, and I recommend you call him because I do. All right, now, let's try one. Let's try a hard one here. Let's try something close to home. The Hamtramck City Council voted to ban all flags not civic in nature. What this come out to be is a ban on the gay pride flag.
Okay.
Right? That's what it is. But what the law really says is you can fly the American flag, you can fly the state flag, the city flag, you can fly flags of other nations representing the community, but you may not fly flags that have religious implications, ethnic implications, sexual orientation implications, political or racial issues. So I actually agree with that. I agree that the public square is all the public and that it's a place of commonality.
Okay.
What do you think of that? Because I mean, like,
but that's a double-edged sword, though, Charlie.
Well,
Because
that's American life.
Exactly. Because on one hand, you can say, "All right, this is about but so does that include it or does it exclude? Like, is it limiting? Is it limiting or is it all-inclusive? Like, which one is it? So you say it's the public square. All right, I do agree that government buildings should not be about personal statements, whether those statements are, the Black Lives Matter, the gay flag. I mean, I get that, but we keep pushing the agenda of being inclusive at every level. So,
and that's good.
Yeah, but I mean,
inclusive at every level, I think is good.
So, but how do you show representation of that inclusivity?
Well, it's called the stars. It's called the Stars and Stripes,
yeah,
right?
But that hasn't worked very well.
It's worked very well.
Not for everybody.
It's worked very well. Look at the rest of the world. What do you think human beings are? I never said we reached the pinnacle of the human experience here, but it's the greatest experiment on Earth.
The longest democracy.
Invented by the Greeks.
Well,
they also invented dirt, air, breathing,
spices,
submarines, fish,
gaming,
farming language.
Consoles.
But for instance, would you have the Black Lives Matter flag? I mean, that's simply pride, but it could also be construed as a political message, and it is.
Or ethnic.
Okay. Or how about the American Indian movement? It's an expression of pride, but it's also political. So far, I think the left would like these. But then what about this new one? What's this one called, Mark?
The Family Values flag?
The new Family Values flag. And what's the Family Values flag all about?
I have 5 kids on there.
Yeah, it's for those listening, it's a red flag with a heart, and it's got a man and a woman faceless with 5, outline of kids. A family, a strong family,
a strong heterosexual family. That's the values: a father, biological mother, right? Parental oversight. Stressing femininity and masculinity. So you in America, if you're going to allow all the flag, you would have to allow this. What about the Daughters of the Confederacy?
Yeah,
that's true. Well,
yeah. I mean, if you allow one flag, you got to allow them all. Next thing you know, you're going to have 3,000 flags flying.
And you got
to draw a line somewhere.
It's kind of like those ribbons, everything has a ribbon. It's a color, so you got about 5. You don't know what stands for what anymore.
Wear it on you.
Yeah,
fly it at your house.
Fly it at your house. There you go. We're talking about city government-owned property.
Right. And isn't there still supposed to be a separation of, and I'm going to say church and state, but for the lack of anything, I mean, there should be a separation of what should be about government oversight
and then, right?
Yeah,
okay.
And personal preference, if you will.
We've been through the manger on City Hall. We've been through the menorah at City Hall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Church of Satan fights us all the time. Like, if you're going to allow that, you got to allow our thing.
That's what it is.
I mean, we do pretend that we're a secular country, but
well, and the public square should be secular. It does. It still bothers me as a practicing Catholic. I find it weird and
I'm with you.
Archaic and probably not legal when I go to the Detroit City Council,
Mhm.
and they open up
With a
the
prayer.
session with a Christian prayer with the minister invoking
That's true.
Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and there's no place for that.
Well, and you think about what the city of Detroit has done too. I mean, they do the Christian display. They've done the menorah. They do the Black Lives Matter. I mean, they've got the gay pride. They've got all of that down there. So, you know.
So they are they going to fly the family values flag now?
If someone were to ask, they would, in my opinion, would have to, because there's no argument as to why they wouldn't if they're doing all the other ones.
See, but it's gotten all weird, right? Because like the conservatives, right? I want these symbols. I'm entitled to these symbols. This is a Christian nation, right? And then the liberals are like, you can't have that. Okay.
You mean like the Ten Commandments?
The Ten Commandments, yeah,
I gotcha.
exactly,
Yeah.
at the courthouse,
Yeah.
right? And now it's reversed.
Yeah.
Like, I want my symbol, but I don't want you to have your symbol. And like,
So where did the symbols end?
we're lost in space. We're lost at sea.
So let me ask you this, Charlie. I mean, people have argued because there has been the elimination of prayer in public school. And you hear people say all the time, oh, that's part of the breakdown as to why the kids are doing poorly. Do you agree with the fact that prayer should be absent in public school?
I do.
Okay. I mean, because to me, that's part of it.
Should one nation under God, should under God be off the money? Should God be off the Pledge of Allegiance? I mean, you're getting into like what we've been into forever. And we're just living that again. So that's what I thought. Now, that's what I thought this was about. To be honest and fair. I just figured, okay, what is Hamtramck? Hamtramck is a community. It's about 2/3 Muslim. I mean, Bosnian, Bangladeshis,
Somali,
Yemenis, right? Okay. And then you still have your old Poles, right? That was the last iteration of ethnicity there. You have whites, you have black people. Excuse me. So it's not monolithic. So I thought maybe they were doing, because it's such a place, because many years ago they had the problem with the calls to prayer, the call to God for the Muslims. And I'm thinking, well, isn't that what the church bell is? And everybody was arguing over noise ordinances, and they made room. And I'm like, okay, this is America writ large in a very small place, 30,000 people, wholly enveloped in Detroit.
Right.
We're pretty interesting around here, right? We're not a backwater. It's interesting. That's where I thought the genesis was, but it wasn't. It really was
about
the gay pride flag, and now everybody on the city council in this very mixed community is Muslim and male, and
straight.
You would think so, right? You would think so.
Who knows?
And it's that backlash. So now I don't know exactly what I'm thinking, but I did talk to a few people on the city council, and I'll tell you what happens when you do some shit like this. All right, community supports it. I'm very brave. I vote for it. And then you realize not everybody's happy with what you did, and they know what you did and why you did it. And I talked to them personally this week, but they won't come. They're all hiding.
Like everybody.
They're all hiding. And then a friend of mine that lives in Hamtramck said, why would they be hiding? I said, because they're politicians. And once the phone starts ringing and it gets tough, you start hiding.
That's the MO.
So that's what I feel about the public square. But I know exactly how this thing played out, and I'm not about that. But now you'll see this is only on conservative media, because most of the people on the council and in that community, you would call them Democrats. You would immigrants, people of color. Oh my God, you're not thinking like liberal white people.
Yeah.
See, because you don't know who we are, the greatest experiment in the world, and it's not easy to do this.
It's true.
So don't hate, don't burn.
But my thing is that if they, shouldn't their municipal flag reflect the diversity that the community has? I mean, that would be a way to kind of solve all of this. I'm just saying.
Well, like a new flag?
That's
I
kind of
don't
deep.
know. I mean, but if in fact, because they do have a very multicultural community, so if you still want to say, okay, we want to make sure everybody in our community is represented and that we're being sensitive to and aware of, respectful of their presence, Maybe that would be
and
the way to do
what
it.
does a flag normally connote? A moment in time of a political and a community's entity's time. Like, look at Detroit's flag, right? It's about when it burned,
right?
And we will rise from the ashes.
When?
You know what the Stars and Stripes are about, right? Yeah, right. Why not?
Could be, but that would be the way to do it.
Why not? It's changed. It's a new era,
and it should change. That's the thing. We should stop, because people change, times change, and time changes people.
That's why the country's great. That's why the country's great.
Well, that's what we should be talking about.
Because of the flexibility of change.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, part of that ordinance too, Karen, is to allow the flying of national flags, state flags, recognized flags that are an example of that community.
Yeah.
So they could fly a Yemenis flag or.
And the point is, look, Mark wanted just see you we were doing this before this. You threw that in there because you wanted to talk about it, but you just made no point. What is your point?
I was piggybacking.
No, there's something that bothers you about it.
No. I was piggybacking.
You know what bothers me about it?
What's that?
You.
I know. I bother
like
a lot of people.
Articulate. What's the problem?
No, I was kind of
invent something.
I was piggybacking on what Karen said. Like, if
you're putting it on Karen now. I see what you did.
I wasn't going to say it at all.
I want to hear what he says.
I know. I want to hear what not what you said. Putting words in your mouth. Go on, Mark.
Should we play that Luke spot again?
No, go on, Mark.
All I was saying is that, yes, they can celebrate that under this ordinance. But, there's a fine line there. It has to be a recognized flag of a state that exists in the world. So you couldn't fly an ISIS flag, right? You couldn't make up a flag and fly it.
But does it bother you? Do you find there's
Does it bother me?
Yeah,
no, because I don't
do you find
really,
there's some disconnect?
I don't really care that much about. Because to me,
then why'd you bring it up?
Because I was piggybacking on what Karen said.
No, you
I think
threw it in
flags
there
and symbols
because
can
it
mean a lot of-
bothers you.
Does it bother me? No, it doesn't.
It bothered you 2 hours ago.
No, that was for
He
the
had
sake
time,
of argument.
He had time to think about
Go
it.
ahead, do the sake of argument. You brought it up. There's no argument.
No, I'm
so
sure there's
far.
some people that would not be thrilled to maybe see a flag for Saudi Arabia or
in
Hamtramck, or just flying general in a government-owned piece of land,
like
or building.
Russia.
Russia, yeah. Or
But then, so do you put up Ukraine? I mean, everything is offensive to somebody.
there
You
There
know,
you go.
I mean, it
do
is.
you know what's in the middle of Hamtramck? A gigantic statue to Pope John Paul II.
There you go. Yeah.
Does that come down?
Somebody could argue that it should.
It's amazing, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like
It's
we
amazing.
could.
All right.
Okay.
That's we're good.
Didn't we miss a sponsor? Or
No.
I'm sorry.
Karen trying to rush through it.
No, I'm not.
Business.
I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything.
I just wanted to do an update on the murder of Ashia Davis, 34, a transgender black woman who was shot dead in the head at the Woodward Inn about 2 weeks ago. They know little more.
Okay, what
They know little more. Like, she was shot. There's surveillance tape of a suspect running out of the room, but detectives can't explain to me why there's no surveillance tape of somebody going in the room. You mean the tape wasn't running 24 hours? Number two, it is a place of prostitution. Like we've been telling you, it's a rough life. That's a very rough space. Okay. Now, you remember Jesse Smollett? All right. How did they catch him?
Video.
All the video for about 5 miles, right? They went door to door and followed a car. This suspect runs out of the parking lot of the hotel. There's a Green Light gas station right across the street. There got to be that person running out. And we know down Woodward, right?
Right.
The liquor stores, the car dealerships, there's cameras everywhere. So where's the tape?
It's a good question.
Where's the, we're doing everything we can to put this sicko behind bars, whoever it might be. I'll tell you what, because I want to make the point again. When we're talking about transgender people who are murdered in this town specifically, and in a lot of in America, it's places like this. And why aren't they safe? And why don't these murders get solved?
It's true.
Policing. So now we're talking again about transgender lives mean something. And yet we want to defund the police. And yet if you go over to 6 Mile and Woodward, there are no patrols. There are, but there's not a lot of patrols.
heavy.
They can't solve this crime. Highland Park is not even handling the murder case. Yeah. They gave it to the state police because Highland Park doesn't have enough police, doesn't have enough seasoned detectives. What does that tell you? If you want a real solution to this, then talk real. And we're telling you real. Yeah, there are going to be more people die out there.
It's true.
Because it's lawless.
That's what you told the two ladies that you talked to. When you went out and talked to those two ladies of the night, one was transgender, and you told them, quite frankly, you're going to die out here. Like, this is not, a lifestyle of safety and comfort. And it was a few days later that this incident happened.
And I want you to know, because again, we're talking real about heavy stuff. My sister lived that life, and she died on the streets of Detroit. I know. I have love and I care about people. And the solution, because this is the life people live. They belong to somebody. People love them. Nobody deserves this.
And they deserve to be protected. They deserve a level of respect, inclusion, and courtesy. I mean, they do, whether you understand or agree with their lifestyle or not.
They're people.
They are.
Well, again,
if we're going to pay attention to 5 people on a submarine going down there to save them,
point.
This is another person.
But then my point is this. Stop stylizing the life. Stop stylizing what's actually happening and committing fakery about what the violence, the root cause of it is. Yeah. Nobody's talking the truth. And that's why you get a pushback, because I know that 99% of the people, even more than that, do not believe that anybody deserves to be murdered just for the life they live or the thing that they're strung out on or the way they got to make ends meet. I refuse to believe that. I've never seen that. But we got to be honest, if you want people safe.
But that's the issue, Charlie. Like, are the people in charge really concerned about the safety and well-being of everybody?
Yeah, and the people are advocating. Are you telling the truth and trying to get what needs to be done? Or, like, are you confused in politics? Transgender rights, defund the police. Those things don't line up.
The defund the police doesn't line up with public safety, period.
Well, and these women
you're right.
are part of the public.
And they are. You're right.
And when you talk dumb shit like that, more are going to get hurt. And if the cameras do not work in the public spots, all along the corridor, if they're going to put IA cameras in, if you're green light, if things aren't working, I recommend that you call XG Service Group because they are experts in security cameras. How you like that, Bernie?
That was smooth.
I didn't even see that segue coming. That was good. Yeah, bravo.
You don't have a cell phone, but you're on a laptop somewhere in there. Voice
over internet.
Over internet. What's P?
Protocol, I think.
Voice over internet protocol. Basically, it's internet phone service. It's drive-through systems, safety systems, Wi-Fi design, construction cameras, traffic cameras, train cameras.
The drive-through cameras.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued by those.
All structural cable.
Wow.
Like and at a very reasonable price. Many people, they do fantastically well all around this region because they're attentive. The price point is perfect. And, just a free consultation.
And the work ethic is there.
Oh, God, my God.
That's the other thing.
Well, it's really hard to.
I pay attention to different things, and the work ethic is there.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard to explain that. I mean, you know how office stuff goes down here, man. Then you can't get a hold of the Yaskovitzes. Call Matt Yaskovitz at 734-245-4100, 734-245-4100. And again, if the lights go out or the roads have holes or, shot spotter or you get...
Who can I call?
You can call ADR, experienced.
Are they ethical?
They are
they on
honest,
time?
Smart. Yep. They are experts in procurement and government compliance, information technology. They can save you and your clients. Oh, I gotta call them. We'll do that later about the crack house.
I figured, yeah.
About the crack house near the school. I got to call ADR about that. Listen, cut the red tape, reduce your costs, increase your bottom line. Call Barry Ellentuck at 248-318-9424 for a consultation. Call him up and get the shit fixed. fixed. And finally, when's the last time you checked your home and auto?
Oh boy, well,
I
have
tell
someone
everybody.
that does it for me now.
I don't even do it. They do it. Legacy Partners now calls me. I get a call twice a year. Dude, I'm looking around. I found something cheaper for you, better insurance. What do we have? What do they do? I'm not even gonna look at this. Your home,
Life,
your business, life, your automobiles. What else? Medicaid,
personal property,
All of it, yeah.
Medicaid.
motorcycle, boat.
Anything that can be insured.
Yeah.
Submarine.
Right? No,
That's a really high premium.
Too soon, bro.
Is it?
Is it really?
Now, call 586-209-4106 or just go to their website and click the link to get started with the new quote. What is the website? Legacy Partners?
Inc. It's on our
Inc.
site, too. You can just
Yeah,
find a link
it's on
there.
our website.
And
But
what's our website?
NoBullshitNews.com.
No BS
No
News
BS
Hours.
News
God, we're
No,
being
I knew that.
sabotaged from within.
I figured it changed.
We
just
don't
like-
even know our website.
I figured it changed just like everything else this past week.
This show's got to blow because your son, he's over there slouching the couch. He ain't taking his. You know what he's doing? He's getting updates on the submarine. Or he's calling Legacy Partners at 586-209-4106. All right, listen now.
Wait a minute.
What? I was just moving it along.
I'm still waiting for this.
Oh my God.
I've been sitting here holding this all because I wanted to.
Let me feel it.
Hold it up to the camera.
Because I've been.
She's been holding it. It's so warm. It is Next Evo
Yeah, Mark told us about this. I think
Body Recovery Cream.
and I ordered two.
Deep
two
penetrating.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute.
Oh Jesus.
It doesn't have a smell to it though.
I was just.
I want something. I want something that smells medicinal.
It's a deep penetrating.
Yeah, I knew we were.
CBD cream.
Yeah, Mark told us about it, and I forgot the 20% off code, so I didn't get 20% off, but I did buy 2 of these. And
what is that? So it's deep penetrating cream.
It's a CBD, a body recovery cream. So it's supposed to be for pain. You know, I have an issue with my back from my car accident, so I wanted to give it a try. You know, when Mark says something, I believe it. So
it's a topical cream.
It's a topical cream. I'm also going to try the stress.
There you go.
If in fact I can remember the 20% off code.
Yeah, that code is no BS.
No, that's it. Okay,
Yeah,
I was playing with it. I was like, what was it?
So.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's
Next Evo, right?
Next
Yeah.
Evo.
Okay, so what's CBD again?
It's the
Cannabis something.
Derivative? No, we got to be better on
It
this.
doesn't have the THC, so it's the non-drug component that's supposed to have
non-psychoactive component.
Yeah, that's supposed to have medicinal qualities and impact. A lot of people take it. You know, they put it on their body. They use it in so many different forms, in the form of gummies and all type of products. And people say that it really helps. And so, and it doesn't have the negative impact and outcome that your typical pharmaceutical drugs would have.
So, Mark, you use the products. They have many of them.
I have, yeah.
And to help you sleep.
Yes, because it's got melatonin in it, fast acting to knock you out, time release to keep you out, while the CBD keeps you going. So you wake up refreshed. I like it. I mean, I've used it. And then you mentioned they have the stress.
Yeah, I'm going to try the stress because I can't do melatonin.
Yeah,
it gives me a headache.
Here's a question. If you take it
yes, sir,
orally,
can you take it?
Will you test positive for THC if you like?
No.
I don't think so, but
it doesn't have THC
I'm not a
in
doctor.
it.
Boom.
It doesn't have THC.
Thank you. Say, Mark, do your homework, man.
All right.
All right, now let me do this.
I had a lot of
this
things to
is
fix.
We got, just down the way from Hamtramck and just down the way from Highland Park is a Bowery hotel for wayward and lost and lonely men called the Normandy,
And
where
comedians.
Red is and over the hill comedians, where Red lives
and does Facebook Lives
instead of showing up to the show, and
excuse me,
he's prepared, I think, quite a lovely little piece about life at the Normandy, has he not?
He has. I really like this one.
Let's. Now, you know what? I bet this is so good. Red's like, I killed it, man. I gotta go to work, man. I killed it. I need a day off, man. Fucking scream at people and shit. Everybody come and buy me $2 drinks. Perfect stranger. Come on down, $2 shots.
Put me out the house on divorce me. For 50 cents. No phone. All I know is what I got. No pets. Started from the bottom. Ain't got no cigarettes, but 2 hours of pushing broom as a 8 by 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means by no means, king of the road. One of the biggest problems I found here at the Normandy is maintenance and how fast stuff is getting fixed. I mean, I'm not shitting on them, not trying to down them. They do their job, whatnot, but they just not as good as the old maintenance man Ken was. Damn it, I miss our old maintenance man. This damn bathroom been down for almost 2 weeks now, and I guarantee you if he was here, this shit would have been fixed by now. You never seen a problem that wasn't immediately addressed. The new maintenance crew, they doing the best they can, but they just ain't a Ken.
Ken cared about these residents here. He kept us in place. He made sure we didn't want for anything.
Just a fair guy, man. He just gave everybody their fresh shake. He wouldn't try to mess over nobody. That's all from my experience, you know?
Ken was an outstanding guy.
The Normandy is a rough place, filled with a lot of good people. The problem is, though, a lot of good people can't survive in a rough place. And Ken, unfortunately, was one of those folks that got caught up in a rough moment.
We begin here at 5 with a deadly shooting sparking a massive manhunt inside a Detroit hotel.
I was here and seen the aftermath of the murder that took place here with the maintenance man, Ken. Bless his fucking soul, he was a good dude.
Yeah, I had just moved back from Tennessee, and when I got in, that was the breaking news.
This was a tenant and a dispute over a tenant being evicted, and the victim now a longtime beloved maintenance man here.
So what happened was, the day that Ken got killed, he was going to collect some past rent from one of the tenants on the second floor, room 230. When he knocked on the door, apparently the young man had some mental issues or problems going on, and he pretty much shot out the door. Ken then turned around to run down the staircase that was right behind him, and the young man followed in pursuit, shooting at him, and he grazed him with a bullet, which in turn made Ken fall on the landing, and the young man caught up to him and stood over him and proceeded to kill him kind of execution style.
I tried to go to him, but they wouldn't let me go. You know, it's just, it's tragic.
I looked out my window and I could see the police all along Woodland, you know? I didn't know that he was murdered, though, until I looked a little further out my window and I seen homicide walking around. You know who they are, them detectives, you know who they are. And I suddenly realized that Ken was murdered.
After he had shot Ken, he had ran to his mother's house, which was a few blocks away from here. And I guess he just sat down and partied and stuff, but the police eventually went there to get him, and he had committed suicide.
My experience here at the Normandy has opened my eyes to all different types of life, types of people, and situations that people go through. And Ken was one of them guys caught in a moment where he ran across a young man apparently dealing with his own demons, and unfortunately he lost his life behind it. And unfortunately this place lost a really caring individual who was always about giving people a place to stay that they could be safe, that was clean, and operated like it should.
Had a rough job, and that guy did him the way he did him. He shouldn't have did that.
He was a good guy, and I wish he was still around to keep Normandy alive.
Here's to you, Ken.
Wow. Wow, that's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, Red, he deserved not to come in after that. That was excellent.
I wonder if he's alive.
Well, you know, I mean,
that's a rough place.
But you think about this though, Charlie. How many people knew the depth of who Ken was and what he did beyond cleaning the hallways? I mean, everybody spoke highly of him. The impact that he had on their lives.
He was a good dude. That's all we learned from that.
Yeah,
and he needlessly lost his life. That's it in a nutshell. You know, obviously, that's just somebody's kid. It's just so fucked up. It's so fucked. You went to New Orleans.
Yes.
Did we got a little clip? Because this just reminded me. This is
I'm gonna show my clip after Reds. Reds is great.
Yeah, again,
you
can find
again?
that. You can find that on our you can find that on our website. You can find that on YouTube and all.
He did a
that.
great job.
That's worth watching.
It is.
But there's. Go ahead, play this. Why not? Karen did a little video, nice short video diary. She went south.
It's always nice to get away. 4 days in New Orleans, a city as different from Detroit as much as it is alike. It was hot every day, all day, but the people were friendly and the food was amazing. But tucked away and not too much out of sight is a very large and growing homeless population. Graffiti, some artistic, others a cry for help or attention, decorate nearly every space in the city. And New Orleans has 800 police officers, down from 1,600, and a crime rate that is growing. Yeah, it's nice to get away, even to different versions of the same problems, but it's always good to come back home.
They got a lot of crime down there.
They have terrible crime down there, Charlie, and that's all the natives talk about. There has been a call for civilian volunteers. They cannot get people to apply for the department. It's pretty bad.
But at least they're more honest about their crime.
They're very honest about it. They are upfront. The mayor, the police chief.
You can go online.
You can go online. You can see their crime stats, and they are saying, "Hey, we have a problem, and we're trying to figure it out, and we need everybody's help to solve it." So they're not hiding behind anything.
They also have a severe lack of police, as you mentioned there.
Yes.
Let me guess though, in the touristy areas, a lot of officers walking around.
No,
really, not even on Bourbon.
Okay. I didn't see. I saw one. Maybe a security vehicle. It didn't even look like a police car. I didn't hear any sirens. I didn't see any police. Nothing.
New Orleans got half the population of Detroit, but 1/3 of the police in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And yet, here's the thing. Going from Red's piece to your look down there, so to coming back up here, Detroit has a higher murder rate than New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. Statistically,
it absolutely does per capita.
Per capita, yes.
Now, you were down there during the long holiday weekend, Father's Day and Juneteenth. That's a 4-day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
In Chicago, during that, it made national news. They had 75 shootings, right?
Crazy.
75 shootings. You know how many we had in Detroit?
29.
30.
30.
We had 30. All right, so in Chicago, the crime's so bad, they ran the mayor out on her ass.
Mm-hmm.
Lori Lightfoot ran her out. Didn't clear the primary. Ran her out. Detroit is 4 times smaller than Chicago. So if Detroit was the same size as Chicago, those 30 shootings would be 120. 120 shootings.
And yet?
Not a boo. I looked it up in the modern era, in the last quarter century. The record for a holiday weekend in shootings in Chicago was 118. That was the record. That was 2021. So we had 30, which would be 120 in Chicago, which should tell you the problem here. And we're not running the mayor out on a wire here. Nobody's reporting it. You can't get the numbers in Detroit. No. You can't. And all of a sudden, this mayor's a viable candidate for governor.
They're still calling it the comeback city.
And you said to me, we were talking about yesterday, you said it's the normalization of violence.
Mm-hmm.
There's Normandy.
No outcry. There's no outcry. There are no questions. There are no demands.
You know the number one river walk is right here in Detroit, voted number 1.
Yeah,
and yet,
the fireworks are Monday.
And you can't be on it.
And they're shutting it down because we cannot police it.
Yeah.
Which is, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But that's because every other day of the week, we can't police, and everybody knows.
But, again, I mean, you've got to look at if you have all these things and you're promoting all these things, but you can't enjoy all these things because you cannot provide the safety for those things, then where is the value? I mean, just where is it?
30 shootings, 4 of them end up in deaths.
Right.
Chicago, 75 shootings, 14 ended in deaths.
Mm-hmm.
Again, where is anybody?
Karen, not only providing the protection and the safety for the people, but what about the respect? for additional people that are around you.
Yeah, that's
if you're going to go act a fool.
And that's what I'm saying. And it's on both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally on both sides. I'm not
the
pointing the
normalization
finger.
that you're talking
exactly.
about.
It's just, we just keep
All
going.
right. All right. That's all right. We said it. We're going to keep saying it. We're not going to belabor it. Right? What the fuck? Do your damn jobs. Get the press kit on your ass. Like nobody did. Nobody's aware of that. Because Karen is fond of saying, and I agree with this one, you don't live here and you don't care, and it's the capital city. It's normal. Oh, it's just 30. Just 30.
No, but it's not
What
just
the
30.
fuck?
It's not just 30. And this is the other thing. We've been having this conversation for decades. I mean, and I do remember once upon a time, people at least acted like it made a difference to them, like there was a level of concern. Now it's just we turn the page and we just keep going. It's like it doesn't raise an eyebrow.
So let's go, but it's time to go. But let me just update real quickly. The crack house, 50 feet from the school that we've reported on. You can go online. You can look at that. Made it my business. That fucker's coming down. You can believe me. That thing's coming down. I now know that the house isn't owned by one Maurice Johnson anymore. He bought it from the Detroit Land Bank, and the Detroit Land Bank finally took it back because he didn't fix it. It's owned by the Detroit Land Bank.
Wow.
Come on.
Okay? A fucking crack house across from a school, and we promised it'd be taken down. So I called the mayor's office. I go, look, let's talk to his guy. And I said, let's not fight. Let's just get this done. Now, there's two things we could do. One, the mayor's got all the power in the world, right? That can go to the front of the line. That can be condemned for public health reasons, for emergency for kids. They're not in school now. You could take it down. They don't got to breathe the shit.
Right.
They don't got to play by a hole. You could do it. Look at the needles here. You could do that. Or I can buy it. I will buy it. There's $3,000 in back taxes that are owed. I will ask our friends.
We'll get it paid.
To help me pay the back tax because somehow you got to do that. I don't know why. All right.
You have to do that.
And then I know some licensed demolition contractors who have graciously offered to tear it down for free for the kids. So.
What was the response?
I've gotten none.
Really?
I've gotten none. It was 30 hours ago, but
That's a no-brainer though, Charlie. To me, that's a no-brainer.
And now I'm getting ministers calling me. They want to protest the shit out of this.
Yeah. Well.
I will take it. I will clean it up. I will donate the property to the neighbor. I will give it back to the city. I will give it to the school.
We aren't giving it back to the city. We will give it to the school or the neighbors. We're not giving it back to the city.
And we'll have to give it to the neighbors, right?
Yeah, we'll do that. But I'm not, because I'll help, but I'm not giving it back
because
to the
that could be used as a place, a safe place for the bus to pull for the kids to get it. Right now, there's a bunch of fucking needles and opioid junkies from the suburbs. I went over, what's today? Thursday? Yesterday. And the steel gate on the front, there's a steel gate in the front of the house. That was closed, but it was open, and you could see the ghouls walking back and forth. And in the city-provided plastic trash bins was neatly packaged, hefty bags, plastic bags full of their fucking trash overflowing. So at least they're keeping their crack house nice, and they expect city services, and yet the city can't find it in their heart. Look at this shit. It's a fucking jungle. This fucking 6-year-old. Look at all those trees. See that door right there? They got a key to the door. Upstairs, they took the board off the window because when up there smoking this shit, it gets too hot.
But that shouldn't be overgrown like that anyway.
See that garage right there? The door is now torn off.
And it's right across
See
the
the
street from the
kids?
school.
Look at the kids. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not
Come on, man.
Where's the safe route?
Do the right thing.
Where's the safe?
Aside from doing the right thing, it's a political win. I mean, you would think that would appease them, or that might be a motivation.
No, because instead they're unveiling murals and new parks across the city. That's all I hear about are murals and parks.
Just do this, because
That's it.
I was looking. Remember the Safeways to School program?
Safe routes to school.
Safe. I googled that. Do Detroit school children safe route blight demolition and watch what pops up. Every year during a State of the City or the Mackinac Convention to get a new $10 million program. Bullshit. Because this is what the city looks like.
But that's not fair, and residents should not accept this, because this is not just the only one, Charlie. This is one that you're talking about.
You're right. Let's not call them residents. Let's call them people.
Well, okay, but I'm saying people.
But no, and it's important.
Well, okay, but they
humanize
live here,
it.
It is human.
Constituents, residents, babies. I would never.
I'm thinking adults,
ever.
Charlie. They should not accept this.
But you know what? They've been trying for decades.
But have they really?
Yes, they have.
But Charlie.
Well, no, don't butt me. I'll tell you why this city used to burn. To get this shit out of their neighborhood. They tried everything. I see them, Karen. They go to city council.
I understand that, but what I'm saying
is... I'm not done with my fucking rant.
Okay.
I'm not done with my rant.
Then rant.
No way. They have tried. No, you can't blame it. You can't blame it on adults with a political body that does not listen to them. Where do they turn? I'm calling up.
Okay.
Now
can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Yes, madam. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Charlie. Okay. I understand the passion behind this. I got that. But think about what you just said when you talked about the mayor in Chicago. And that issue of crime and her inability or unwillingness to resolve that issue was what did not get her through the primary. So that in itself, to me, is a reason why stop upholding somebody who's not upholding their commitment to this neighborhood. So that's what I mean.
I've been all around this great big country. All around it.
Mm-hmm.
Many, many, many of the biggest cities. I've never seen that. That doesn't happen in LA. That does not happen in Brooklyn. That does not happen in Chicago.
It's true.
Not one fucking neighborhood have I ever seen that. That is the scarlet letter. And again, talking to parents, they don't know what to do.
And that's unacceptable. So what I'm saying is for the people that keep saying that this is a comeback city and that this administration is doing such a great job and we're better off now than we were 5, 10, 20 years ago, stop saying that when things like this exist. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying.
And I say to the Detroit media, that is your submarine.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Find it. Because we're sinking.
And it's imploded.
All right. Well, on that uplift,